नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। धर्मविज्ञानवैराग्यपरमैश्वर्यशालिनः आनन्दतीर्थभगवत्पादान् वन्दे निरन्तरं। पूज्याय राघवेन्द्राय सत्यधर्मव्रताय च भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनुवे। जलज्येष्ठनिभाकारं जगदीशपदाश्रयं जगतीतलविख्यातं जगन्नाथगुरुं भजे.
Great honor and a great privilege that we are remembering Jaganatha Dasaru, one of the greatest devotional literature legend of South India, of Karnataka. Possibly in the entire history of the Bhakti literature, Jagannatha's contribution is unique, distinct and extraordinary because he had the blessings of Vijaya Dasaru, Gopala Dasaru, and he had the privilege of being a Shishya of Vijaya Dasaru and Gopala Dasaru. Much more than everything in the entire lineage of the Madhva philosophy, he was the greatest scholar, Shastric scholar of Himalayan heights. But an eventful event has turned his life into divinity, spirituality and celebrity. That incident gave him an insight, opened the inner gates to understand the greatest heights of spirituality, Sannidhana, Sannidhya in Vijaya Dasaru and Gopala Dasaru. And he had the blessings of Gopala Dasaru, who had transferred his most auspicious and precious 40 years of life to Jaganatha Dasaru with an attitude of gratitude to both Gopala Dasaru and Vijaya Dasaru. Jaganatha Dasaru has given an extraordinarily greatest contribution to the world of philosophy, to the world of world philosophy in the form of Harikathamrita Sara. His kirtanas are full of divinity, spirituality, nobility, much more than that, surrender at the feet of the Lord. And most of his songs and Harikathamrita Sara is full of sense and essence of Dvaita philosophy. It is called as Sarodhara. Sara means essence, sense and essence. The sense and essence of the entire Dvaita philosophy and the sense and essence of the entire the devotional movement of India has been actually brought into one capsule in the form of the Harikathamrita Sara. For next 2000 years, 3000 years, continuously and consistently and incessantly, that will be showering the fountain, the grand fountain of values, the grand fountain of the devotional rain on the devotees, and much more than everything. Jaganatha Dasaru lived in a small village called Malavi, but gave the world of philosophy, the philosophy to the world of philosophy in the form of his kirtanas and songs. Today, our friend Manoj, who hails from a very great tradition of Dvaita philosophy, and his parents are very close to me, has been doing a human service in the form of taking the message of our Haridasas to the people in different parts of the world through the digital media. I congratulate, I compliment, I commend our Manoj for doing this great task of taking Haridas Sahitya to the mass and to the class as well in the form of this digital presentation. Let me wish our Manoj best of luck, happy times, great times. Let us celebrate Paramotsavadi Kondaduvudu Pratidinavu antare Jaganatha Dasaru. The literature of Jaganatha Dasaru and literature of Haridas Sahitya is Utsava, Mahotsava, Paramotsava, grand celebration, great celebration.
Four Haridasaru were popularly known as Dasa Chatushthayaru. It comprises Sri Purandara Dasaru, Sri Vijaya Dasaru, Sri Gopala Dasaru and Sri Jagannatha Dasaru. Each individual has been highly successful in propagating Dasa Sahitya. Sri Jagannatha Dasaru is known for his masterpiece compositions by the name Harikathamrita Sara and Tattva Suvali. His Aradhana falls on Bhadrapada Shuddha Navami. To commemorate his Aradhana, it warrants to delineate a brief description of his life story and achievements. Narasappa was a village accountant in Bhyagavatti village belonging to Manvi Taluk. He quit his job and became a Haridasa. He got married and did a seva in Tirumala. Lord Srinivasa blessed them with a son. The couple named him as Srinivasa. It is believed that he is Sakhlada Amsha Sambhutaru, the brother of Prahlada Rajaru. Narasappa did Upanayana to Srinivasa and gave him a basic education. Srinivasa decided to pursue his higher education with Sri Varavendra Tirtharu, the then pontiff of Raghavendra Mutt, Mantralaya. He composed an extemporary Sanskrit poem named Varavendra Pancharatna and submitted to his guru. His learning ranged from Manimanjari to Tattva Prakashika to Nyayasudha to Vyasatraya and became a renowned Pandit in Madhva Shastra. He was known as Pandit Srinivasacharya. He got married with the blessings of Sri Varavendra Tirtharu, and per his advice he settled in Manvi in a rented house. He started his own Gurukula and started propagating Dvaita Vedanta. He was enjoying his married life besides his teaching activities. It was here he developed a distinct dislike for Sri Vijaya Dasaru. He argued that by praying to Lord in Kannada language, will the Lord be pleased? The Lord can only be pleased by reciting Vedas through a Sanskrit medium. He neither entertained any Haridasaru nor was offering any respect to them. It so happened that once Sri Vijaya Dasaru was on a tour and visited Manvi village. The entire village welcomed him except Srinivasacharya. When Sri Vijaya Dasaru visited his house, he refused to get up from his seat. He even refused to offer Path Puja to Vijaya Dasaru. Sri Vijaya Dasara invitation to Srinivasacharya for his bhajans and Tirtha Prasada went unanswered. When a disciple of Sri Vijaya Dasaru came home to remind him about Tirtha Prasada, he said he had already finished his food and would get a stomach pain if he didn't have his food early. Unfortunately, Srinivasacharya started getting recurring stomach pain if his food was delayed. Initially, he just ignored the pain but sought treatment upon the pain turning acute. Once the pain became prevalent and serious, he decided to visit Tirumala to do a seva. But when he did not get the desired result, he visited Katkachala and did a Vaistuti Punascharani, but the pain still didn't subside. Unfortunately, these series of events made him very weak and rendered him unable to walk. With great difficulty, he reached Mantralaya and sought Sri Raghavendra Tirthara blessing and did seva for 7 days.
Raghavendra paribaliso rogaharane kripa sagara Shri Guru Raghavendra paribaliso rogaharane kripa sagara Shri Guru Raghavendra paripaliso rogaharane kripa sagara Shri Guru Raghavendra paripaliso Raghavendra.
Despite all the seva, the pain didn't subside and he decided to end his life. That night, Rayaru appeared in his dreams and reminded him of his big biggest sin of showing disrespect to Sri Vijaya Dasaru. Sri Rayaru advised him to seek the pardon from Sri Vijaya Dasaru. With great difficulty, he approached Sri Vijaya Dasaru, who was in Karpara Narsimha Kshetra, and prayed for his mercy. Sri Vijaya Dasaru welcomed Srinivasacharya and advised him to visit Sri Gopala Dasaru. Ultimately, Srinivasacharya reached Uttanuru and prayed for mercy with Sri Gopala Dasaru. Sri Gopala Dasaru prayed to Lord Dhanvantari and treated his disease by giving him a Naivedya offered to Lord Dhanvantari.
ಎನ್ನ ಭಿನ್ನಪ ಕೇಳು ಧನ್ವಂತ್ರಿ ದಯ ಮಾಡು ಸಣ್ಣವನು ಇವ ಕೇವಲ ಬಂದ ಬಡಿಸುವ ರೋಗವನ್ನು ಮೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಪಾಲಿಸುವುದು ವಿಭುವೇ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಪಾಲಿಸುವುದು ಎನ್ನ ಭಿನ್ನಪ ಕೇಳು ಧನ್ವಂತ್ರಿ ದಯ ಮಾಡು ಸಣ್ಣವನು ಇವ ಕೇವಲ ಬನ್ನ ಬಡಿಸುವ ರೋಗವನ್ನು ಮೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಪಾಲಿಸುವುದು ವಿಭುವೇ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಪಾಲಿಸುವುದು ವಿಭುವೇ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಪಾಲಿಸುವುದು
Srinivasacharya experienced a distinct improvement in his health and slowly his stomach pain subsided. When Sri Gopala Dasaru visited Tirupati for Brahmotsava, Srinivasacharya accompanied him. He fell ill in Tirumala and felt he was dying. In fact, he did die for a few moments only to be revived by Sri Gopala Dasaru through Lord Srinivasa's blessing by giving his 40 years Ayushya. When both came back to Uttanuru, Sri Gopala Dasaru asked Srinivasacharya to become a Haridasa and dedicate his next 40 years to propagate Dvaita Vedanta through Haridasa Sahitya. Sri Gopala Dasaru advised him to go to Pandrapur to get his Ankita. Srinivasacharya immediately proceeded to Pandrapur to pray Vittala and took a dip in Bhimarati river. While dipping, he noticed a piece of stone obstructing him which read Jaganatha Vijaya. Lord Vittala gave darshan and blessed him.
ವಿಠಲಯ್ಯ ವಿಠಲಯ್ಯ ತಟಿತ್ ಕೋಟಿ ನಿಭಕಾಯ ಜಗನ್ನಾಥ ವಿಠಲಯ್ಯ ವಿಠಲಯ್ಯ ತಟಿತ್ ಕೋಟಿ ನಿಭಕಾಯ ಜಗನ್ನಾಥ ವಿಠಲಯ್ಯ 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 ನೀ ಕರುಣಿಸದೆ ನಿರಾಕರಿಸಲು ಎನ್ನ ಸಾಕುವರ್ಯಾರೋ ದಯಾವರ ಮೂರುತಿ ನೀ ಕರುಣಿಸದೆ ನಿರಾಕರಿಸಲು ಎನ್ನ ಸಾಕುವರ್ಯಾರೋ ದಯಾವರ ಮೂರುತಿ ವಿಠಲಯ್ಯ 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 ವಿಠಲಯ್ಯ.
He then visited Malkheda, Mantralaya, Veni Sompura and Chikalaparvi and offered prayers to Sri Jaitirtharu, Sri Rayaru, Sri Vyasatatvagnaru and Sri Vijaya Dasaru. Sri Jagannatha Dasaru started composing Kannada poems in the praise of Lord Sri Hari. Sri Jagannatha Dasaru exhibited many mahimas. Once a poor Brahmin was struggling to lead his life. Sri Jagannatha Dasaru composed Narasimha Suladi and advised him to recite it daily. Upon reciting the Suladi daily, the poor Brahmin in due course became a Diwan of Surapura. Dasappa from Karjagi, was a scholar but was leading a luxurious life and was only focused on worldly pleasures. When he came in contact with Sri Jagannatha Dasaru, he realized the mistake and became a Haridasaru. Sri Jagannatha Dasaru gave him an Ankita as Sri Vittala Dasaru. Mammudi Krishnaraja Vadiyar, the king of Mysore, invited Sri Jagannatha Dasaru to their palace. Dasaru accepted his invitation and visited his palace to sing bhajans. Even today in Mysore Palace, the members of the royal family do sing bhajans on a daily basis. King Vadiyar presented Dasaru a palanquin which can be seen even today in Manvi. Sri Jagannatha Dasaru visited Srirangapatana on the invitation of Diwan Purnaya, a Diwan of Mysore kingdom, and stayed at his house. One day, he put a rangoli of Lord Ranganatha of Srirangam without ornaments. When Diwan Purnaya asked for the reason, Dasaru replied that the Lord at Srirangam is wearing only Tulsi Mala today. Diwan Purnaya got this verified from his Srirangam sources. Sri Jagannatha Dasaru, sitting at Srirangapatana, was able to get a darshan of Lord Ranganatha from Srirangam. Sri Jagannatha Dasaru, hence, is popularly known as Rangoli Dasaru or Rangavolida Dasaru, meaning loved by the Lord Panduranga. He composed his masterpiece compositions, which were Harikathamritasara and Tattvaswali, which propagated Dvaita Vedanta in simple Kannada language with illustrations. Harikathamritasara is also known as Kannadada Nyayasudha. It is a glossary of Madhva Siddhanta in simple Kannada. It consists of 32 chapters comprising of a total of 988 poems. A key highlight of this composition is that every chapter is a condensation of either Upanishads, Brahma Sutras, Mahabharata, Ramayana or Puranas. This composition by itself has 32 commentaries, of which one is in Sanskrit.
ಹರಿಕಥಾಮೃತಸಾರ ಗುರುಗಳ ಕರುಣದಿಂದಾಪನಿತು ಪೇಳುವೆ ಪರಮ ಭಗವದ್ಭಕ್ತರ ನಿಧನಾದರದಿ ಕೇಳುವುದು ಆದರದಿ ಕೇಳುವುದು ಶ್ರೀರಮಣಿಕರ ಕಮಲ ಪೂಜಿತ ಚಾರು ಚರಣ ಸರೋಜ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸಮೀರ ವಾಣಿ ಪಣೀಂದ್ರ ವೀಂದ್ರ ಭವೇಂದ್ರ ಮುಖವಿನುತಾ ನೀರಜ ಭವಾಂಡೋದಯ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಕಾರಣನೆ ಕೈವಲ್ಯದಾಯಕ ನಾರಸಿಂಹನೆ ನಮಿಪೆ ಕರುಣಿಪುದೆ ಮಗೆ ಮಂಗಳವಾ ಕರುಣಿಪುದೆ ಮಗೆ ಮಂಗಳವಾ ಪಾಕಶಾಸನ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಸಕಲ ದಿವೋಕ ಸರಿಗಳಿಯಾಪಿ ನಮಿಪೆ ಋಷಿಗಳಿಗೇಕೆ ಚಿತ್ತದಿ ಪಿತೃಗಳಿಗೆ ಗಂಧರ್ವ ಕ್ಷಿತಿಪರಿಗೆ ಆ ಕಮಲನಾಭಾದಿಯತಿಗಳ ನೀಕ ಕಾನಬಿಸುವೆನು ಬಿಡದೆ ರಮಾಕಳತ್ರಣ ದಾಸವರ್ಗಕ್ಕೆ ನಮಿಪೆ ಅನವರತ ಪರಿಮಳವು ಸುಮನದೊಳಗನಲನು ಅರಣಿಯೊಳಗಿಪ್ಪಂತೆ ದಾಮೋದರನು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾದಿಗಳ ಮನದಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿ ತೋರದೆಲೇ ಇರುತಿಹ ಜಗನ್ನಾಥ ವಿಠಲನ ಕರುಣ ಪರ್ವ ಮುಮುಕ್ಷು ಜೀವರು ಪರಮ ಭಾಗವತರನ್ನು ಕೊಂಡಾಡುವುದು ಪ್ರತಿದಿನವೂ ಕೊಂಡಾಡುವುದು ಪ್ರತಿದಿನವೂ.
It is believed that he has written poetries on Bhagavad Gita, 10 Upanishads and Brahma Sutras. Unfortunately, none of these are available today. Dasaru attained Haripada on Bhadravada Shukla Navami in Manvi. He left behind his tambura which was using. On his Aradhana day, Abhisheka is offered to the pillar which he was leaning against during the days of the composition of Harikathamrita Sara. On the account of his Aradhana, Let's remember his deep spiritualistic journey and celebrate his immense contributions to the mankind in the field of spirituality, philosophy and Bhakti movement. Let's all seek his divine blessings and pay our rich tributes to Sri Jagannatha Dasaru. Shri Krishnarpanamasthu. Nahankarta Harikarta Tat Puja Karma Chakinam.
ಫಲವಿದು ಬಾಳ್ದುದಕ್ಕೆ ಫಲವಿದು ಬಾಳ್ದುದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿರಿನಿಲಯನ ಗುಣಗಳ ತಿಳಿದು ಭಜಿಸುವುದೇ ಫಲವಿದು ಬಾಳ್ದುದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವೋಚಿತ ಕರ್ಮಗಳಾಚರಿಸುತ್ತ ಬಲು ನೀಚರಲ್ಲಿ ಪೊಗಿಯಾಚಿಸದೆ ಖೇಚರ ವಾಹಚರಾಚರ ಬಂಧಕ ಮೋಚಕನಹುದೆಂದೋಚಿಸುತ್ತಿಪ್ಪುದೆ ಫಲವಿದು ಬಾಳ್ದುದಕ್ಕೆ ಫಲವಿದು ಬಾಳ್ದುದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿರಿನಿಲಯನ ಗುಣಗಳ ತಿಳಿದು ಭಜಿಸುವುದೇ ಫಲವಿದು ಬಾಳ್ದುದಕ್ಕೆ.